What is up, friends? It's Joelle, and this week I decided to challenge myself to try to eat like the incredible Korean girl group MAMAMOO. They're known for their outstanding vocals, and a few of their members are just huge foodies with mukbang shows, so I'm super excited. Some of you might know I used to make these types of videos for BuzzFeed when I worked there, obviously. Now this lives on my personal channel, but the format stays the same. I am going to be dedicating one day to each member of MAMAMOO, trying to eat some of their favorite foods and showing you how I make them. MAMAMOO is just crazy talented, and there's a lot of delicious looking recipes that I'm really looking forward to this week, so I'm excited to show you, and let's get started. Of course, we're starting out the challenge with MAMAMOO's team mom, fearless leader, and pole dancing hottie, Solar. She's the vocalist and leader for the group and is super regimented about her diet, apparently. I was inspired by a few of her different YouTube videos for her menu, and in one of her What I Eat in a Days, she said she starts every day with a protein shake and an apple. She has this one protein shake almond milk drink. Unfortunately, I couldn't find that exact kind, so I just made my typical protein shake. Overall, this was a very nice, light way to start the day, and honestly, it was convenient for me since, you know, during the workday, not trying to have an elaborate breakfast, and it was good and filling. I think it's so interesting that apparently when Solar was younger, she wanted to be a tour guide in Korea for foreigners, but then sang in some competition for a free gift or something, and then was scouted by an agent and is now a literal pop star. It's a nice reminder that life plans can change very quickly, and you never know where opportunity will come. Anyways, as you can see, I'm making a packet of tteokbokki, which is apparently one of Solar's faves. She's a connoisseur and can literally taste the difference between different tteokbokki brands. It's just stir-fried spicy rice cakes, and it's actually really easy to make from scratch, but these instant packets make it even easier unless you add too much water like I did. Not great. But I doctored mine up with a boiled egg for some protein, and my pack came with some dumplings, which were delicious. And this dish is the perfect balance of sweet, spicy, and savory, and rice cakes are literally so satisfying and chewy. It's like a fat noodle. What more could you want? Solar cooks and eats in a lot of the videos on her YouTube channel, and apparently loves her air fryer. I didn't have one, so I used my toaster oven, but for dinner I just heated up some mackerel like she ate in one of her videos. And she said that her mom still makes her side dishes, which I thought was super cute, and the dried squid is one of her favorites, so I made sure to have some of that too. Solar also says she doesn't love her veggies, so she gets her greens by just wrapping foods in lettuce, which is honestly a great tactic. It's super common for a lot of Korean dishes, especially with Korean barbecue, to wrap meat and rice in either red leaf lettuce or perilla leaves. When you wrap your food, it's called sam. It's really yummy if you've never tried it. And another interesting thing about Solar, and I guess kind of MAMAMOO in general actually, is that she's been criticized for being too sexy and for defying many Korean expectations of female behavior, such as pole dancing in a live performance, not always wearing makeup, ripping off clothes in performances, because she sees male K-pop stars do it, so she's like, why can't I do it too? And I think it's really admirable that she's not afraid of breaking the mold a little bit and the rigid expectations that there are for Korean women's behavior and appearance. Plus, like, I mean, she had to walk so Blackpink Lisa could run, am I right? To end off the day, Solar did a mukbang with unique Korean ice creams. So I obviously took that as an excuse to have some ice cream. I got these cookies and cream shakes that come in little packets, and honestly, it's such a yummy and easy late night snack, kind of dangerous. To finish off the day, gotta toss in my MAMAMOO fact, and today's fact is that MAMAMOO considered many different group names, including 160, referring to the height in centimeters, orange, or belly button. And honestly, I'm really glad for them that they settled on MAMAMOO. Next up is Wheein, baby. Yes, I believe it's Wheein, not Wheein. Anyways, Wheein is a vocalist for the group and is sometimes referred to as little puppy or baby of the group, even though she's not the youngest, but she apparently likes to rap spontaneously, and apparently her and Hwasa know each other all the way back from middle school, which is really cute. For breakfast, I'm recreating the stuffed tofu skins, aka inari sushi. I saw her eat in a mukbang. You can get seasoned fried tofu skins at most Asian grocery stores, and they actually come with their own rice seasoning, so all you need is some fresh rice. You mix in the seasoning and stuff the skins like so. It's super easy and is a really quick tasty snack or breakfast, and also would be great to make ahead of time for a lunch at school or work or something. But it's super simple, and the seasoning makes your rice kind of sweet and savory. Very delicious. Apparently, when asked what kinds of food she likes, Wheein says that she'll eat whatever Hwasa likes, which makes sense because Hwasa has great taste. But in particular, there's this one clip when they went to get dakgochi, or chicken skewers, together, which is a classic Korean street food. You're actually seeing past Joelle because I was prepping my chicken the night before, since I don't have time to cook like that during the day. But for this dish, I like making a glaze of garlic, gochujang, honey, soy sauce, etc. to have with my chicken thighs that I cut into bite-sized pieces. And I season the chicken with a little bit of salt, pepper, and rice wine. You can see me in real time realizing that I bought all the ingredients I needed except the skewers themselves. I was so mad at myself. I wanted to scream, but my mom was right there, so I didn't make any noise. But anyways, it's too late to turn back now. Back to the present. I just cooked my skewerless chicken in a skillet, and once it was slightly cooked, that's when I added my glaze, and I let it get a little almost caramelized in the pan. Oh, so good. And here's my attempts to arrange my chicken in a line on my plate as if it's on a skewer. And you know what? Honestly, it all ends up in the same place anyways. The dish is honestly really easy to make, and my little sister loves it. You can probably tell I didn't measure anything in this, but I'll link some of the recipes I use for reference in the description for these dishes in the video. I also didn't add cheese like Wheein and Hwasa had since my cheese was moldy, but it'd be a great addition. Whether I ate it on a stick or not, it was delectable. Wheein is a self-proclaimed snack queen, so of course I had to throw some snacks in during the day. In particular, I had PEPERO, which maybe I'm saying that wrong. I'm really self-conscious about my Korean pronunciation, but it's really similar to Pocky, and I'm sure you all know what Pocky is. If you grew up around any like hormonal Korean teens at all, you might have played the PEPERO game, where you basically Lady and the Tramp a PEPERO stick. Maybe you and the bros just play this too, but you know, to each their own. Comment below if you know what I'm talking about. And lastly, for dinner, Wheein is a big meat girl, and MAMAMOO often has barbecue together, which is really cute. Sadly, I was eating by myself, cry, but I thought I'd grill myself some samgyeopsal. It's just pork belly, which I like basically burnt and crisped, dipped in either samjang or a sesame oil and salt combo. Delicious. And of course, I'm getting my veggies in with some red leaf lettuce and making my perfectly wrapped little lettuce bites. As I enjoy my dinner, today's MAMAMOO fact is that every MAMAMOO member also releases solo music, which you don't always find in K-pop groups. To me, it's really cool that each member has the opportunity to share their unique style and sound while simultaneously collaborating and making bangers as a group. Today is Moonbyul Day. She's the group's rapper, and apparently she has over 65 producing or writing credits on different songs, which is pretty baller. She can apparently also eat anything and not worry about her weight, so you know, we're gonna claim that and eat a delicious pastry for breakfast. This is a brown sugar flavored one, and y'all, something about Asian breads. These breads are so bouncy and fluffy. I love them so much, and will always grab a few when I'm at the grocery store. And of course, I'm pairing it with an iced Americano, aka the unofficial national drink of Korea, to balance out the sweetness with the refreshing bitterness of some freshly brewed espresso. Moonbyul is also a big fan of meat, and she likes spicy foods, so I'm having some spicy bulgogi for lunch, of course pre-marinated, because like MAMAMOO, we are booked and busy and need things convenient, okay? I just got this at H Mart and I keep it in the freezer. It's super convenient. If you didn't know, Moonbyul apparently auditioned for their label as a vocalist, but was cast as a rapper and almost debuted in the rap group D-Unit. Another random fun fact about Moonbyul is that Byul actually means star in Korean, so her name is like Moon Star, which I guess goes in theme with solar. Ha ha ha. Anyways, for dinner, I'm having some stir-fried stanky kimchi and takdoritang, which is just a spicy Korean stew. I was inspired to make this for Moonbyul because of a dinner that MAMAMOO had together when the other girls were dieting, so only Moonbyul could indulge in the stew with tons of rice, but it looked so good that all the other girls had to join in and break their diets because hey, we all gotta show ourselves some love sometimes. Takdoritang is such an easy recipe, and you can honestly throw so many different veggies in here. The chicken always turns out super tender and juicy, and with the red pepper and soy sauce based broth, it's really flavorful. And to end the day with today's MAMAMOO fact, MAMAMOO's fandom name, Mumu, sounds like the Korean word for radish, so fans used to bring radishes to concerts, and later they made their official light stick shaped like a radish. And of course, we're ending this challenge with Queen Hwasa, the maknae and vocalist of the group, known for her bold fashion and impeccable taste in food. Hwasa has the ability to make nearly any food she eats go viral and sell out in stores, including these fried tofu skins. Similar to the breakfast I had for Wheein, Hwasa made these in the reality show Home Alone that she often shows her recipes in, and she had it with seasoned tofu instead of rice for a very protein-rich meal, and apparently stores all over Korea immediately ran out of the ingredients after that show aired. With this in mind, there were a lot of Hwasa foods I wanted to feature but sadly couldn't get my hands on, like that viral marinated crab that looked so good, but I worked with what I had, okay y'all? My mom thought these looked disgusting, which I agree, they're not the cutest, but it actually tasted really satisfying with the salty sweet rice seasoning. Plus, post-workout or something, if you want a protein-rich meal that's not meat, it's pretty solid. Hwasa is known for her recipes and mukbang shows, and one dish she's particularly known for loving is gopchang, which is actually beef intestines. Some people say that it's an old man dish to crave, and I had actually never tried it before, so I picked up some gopchang janggo. Roast me in the comments if I said that wrong, but it's beef intestine stew, and I bought it because I did not trust myself to make it properly. It smells amazing. Mouth was watering, but to be honest, even though I love the flavor of the soup, I just could not get behind the texture. I don't know, I don't like chewy meats. That being said though, the way Hwasa ate it made me want it. And you know, I really appreciate the fact that she's so into a dish that's not normally trendy for a young woman to like. And I feel like it's very emblematic of the fact that she's just a woman who likes what she likes. It actually made me really sad to hear how she's been criticized for not conforming to Korean beauty standards, but she's honestly such a baddie and so sure of herself. I really respect her a lot, and I know she also has a pretty strong faith, which, you know, we love. Apparently she grew up Catholic, and she's even written a song named after her baptismal name, Maria. The song's also a banger, by the way. Anyways, with Hwasa not being afraid to mix up the traditional, I had to try her groundbreaking ramen recipe, which is actually not ramen at all, but tteokbokki, aka instant jjajangmyeon, which is black bean noodles. But she cooks her noodles in the sauce and boils off all the water, because apparently she likes soggy noodles. And then she adds copious amounts of truffle oil and tops it all with an egg yolk for some creaminess. It was honestly very interesting to have a dish with very Asian flavors, but with the truffle fragrance that I normally personally associate with French or Italian cuisine. It was very yummy though, very decadent, and definitely worth trying at least once. Just make sure you don't add too much water or else your noodles will literally disintegrate. As I enjoy my last Hwasa midnight snack, some seaweed chips, my last MAMAMOO fact is that the name MAMAMOO was inspired by the murmurs babies make as they learn to speak, often first asking for their mom, which some fans have compared to how young fans look up to MAMAMOO as examples of strong, powerful women, which we love. I hope you enjoyed seeing my different takes on some of MAMAMOO's favorite dishes, and of course let me know which member's menu you'd like to try, and comment down below who you'd like me to eat like next. Thank you so much for watching, love you, Jesus loves you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.